What's up guys, in this video I'm gonna show you the path rendering. I've moved the objects a little bit so that there are some obstacles around the actor to which I'm gonna try to find a path. I don't like these lighting artifacts. I just need to find my light source and switch it to Moodle, and that's gonna fix the issue. Okay, so let me pick this actor and I'm gonna remove these two instances, and what we are gonna do is we are gonna open the event graph and implement the BEI Minimap interface, compile, and you're gonna react to event start overlap, right? And so as soon as we approach this, well, that actually doesn't make sense, right? So we will not do it this way. More useful way would be to click on this point and then draw a path, but that's more complicated, so just for starters I'm gonna do it this way. Store the reference of the minimap and find a path. So path, we will set path, but we are missing a path reference. Maybe you saw that there's a path array, or there's an array of path points. You can pass the points directly over here, but it's more useful to pass a reference of the actual path, because I'm gonna show you right now. Navigation path, find path to actor, find path to locations. Find path to actor could be about right. This is the path reference that we need. The path start is where the player is now, so get player character, get actor location, that's the world location of this actor, and the goal actor, that's this one actor, so self. Tether distance, oh man, I think it's the distance where I don't know right now. It doesn't matter. Pathfinding context, I'm not sure if it's needed or not. And filter class is in our example there is no filter class. So what this function does, except for, well, apart from finding a path, and this function also updates this path if the actor that is to be followed changes its position. So that's why it's more useful to pass a reference to this path instead of just the path points, right? Because you can get the points of this path this way, get path points, but this is the better way of doing this. Another thing you need is a navigation mesh. So nav modifier, nav mesh bounds, nav modifier. I think it's this one. Let me scale it up about this much. Just keep in mind that pathfinding will not work if there's no navigation mesh. in the area where the player is, and where not the player, but the start location and the end location is. So basically start and end location must be inside some navigation mesh, right? So now as soon as we approach this point, there is gonna be a path, right? A path added to this point. So this path won't get removed, but as you see, it kind of doesn't update. Well, oh, it does. Okay. So that's the desired behavior, but I'm gonna show you some other path setup later on. So as you see, the path has been removed because you are standing at the box from which the Unreal Engine can't find the path to this box right now. So that's the basic setup of a path. What we can do next, or I'm gonna demonstrate what's happening when the path gets updated. So this is the path, but we can eject ourselves from the game and change the position of this actor, right? And what this function is gonna do once we possess our player is that it will update the path appropriately. So that's it. Now let me go inside the VBP Ultra map, and in the struct setup there is something we can change about our path. So path width is, as I hope I don't have to explain, it's just the width in pixels. Then there's allow distance from path. So basically the minimap's checking constantly whether the player follows the path that has been created, and if he or she does not, the minimap's gonna send a message to the message listener. The message listener can be anything you pick up from this list. Basically, you can create your own message listener and implement the behavior, implement this message so that it does the behavior that you desire. So basically what you can do is probably find a new path when you see that the player does not follow it or something like that. Allow distance from path is basically how far from the actual path the player can go before the minimap sends a message to the message listener. Remove path distance, and this is the distance where the path is gonna be removed. So let me show that. This is our path, and if we go close to the object, the path gets removed, right? So this is the distance at which it gets removed. Second written path checkings, like so there's a timer basically that you can customize to your needs. If you need to check for whether the player does or does not follow the path more often, you can do it. Just don't set this to 0 because that would deactivate the timer. that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna show you how to choose your own color for the path. So there's an Ultramap folder, and inside there is another Ultramap folder, and there's an outline draw. No, that's not what I wanted. There's graphics folder and rendering folder. So over here you've got Matte Auto Minimap material. That's a customizable material I made, and we have an instance of this. That's the Minimap we are currently using. And underneath color settings, there's path color, so you can change it to something like this and see the result when you go. And if we stop here, the last image is gonna reappear here, so you can play with this kind of like if it was at runtime. So that's gonna wrap up this video. The last video is gonna be about this material, this huge material, and about shapes of the minimap. So I hope you find it useful, and see you next time.